I am the vine, you are the branches. Whoever abides in me and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. John 15:5. We live in a culture that worships productivity, hustle, output, the grind. And somewhere along the way, even our faith got infected with it. We started measuring our spiritual health by how much we were doing, how many chapters we read, how many people we served, how many boxes we checked. We turned discipleship into a performance review. Jesus didn't say, work harder for me. He said, abide in me. That's a different invitation entirely, and most of us have never fully accepted it. The word Jesus uses carries a sense of settled, continuous presence. Not a visit, not a check-in, but a making your home here. It appears 11 times in John 15 alone. Jesus is not being subtle. He is hammering a single point with the kind of repetition that suggests he knew we would miss it. Abiding is not passive. It's not lazy. It's not the spiritual equivalent of doing nothing and calling it faith. It's intentional presence. The deliberate daily decision to stay connected to the source of life rather than running on your own reserves. It's the choice to return again and again to the one who sustains you, rather than drifting toward 1,000 other things competing for your attention. Think about a branch on a vine. It doesn't strain to produce grapes. It doesn't hustle. It doesn't set quarterly fruit goals. It simply stays attached. And fruit is the natural result of that connection. The moment it's severed, it withers. Not because it stopped trying, but because it stopped abiding. The life was in the vine, not in the branch. That's us. Life is not in us, it flows through us, but only as long as we remain connected to the source. Here's the question that has to be answered before abiding makes sense. How did we get connected with the vine in the first place? Jesus spoke John 15 the night before he was crucified, in the upper room on his way to Gethsemane, hours before the cross. The vine metaphor is not abstract theology. It's a promise made on the eve of the event that would make it possible. By nature, we are not branches on the true vine. We are wild branches, cut off from God by sin, unable to bear fruit, withering on our own. Romans 11:17 uses the same grafting language. We were grafted in, and grafting requires a wound. The branch doesn't attach itself to the vine painlessly. It requires cutting, joining, and the life of the vine flowing into what was dead. That's what the cross accomplished. Jesus was cut off, forsaken, separated, bearing the full weight of our disconnection from God, so that we could be grafted in. His death is what opened the connection. His resurrection is what proved the life is real. And now, because of what he did, the invitation to abide is not a religious aspiration. It's a description of what is actually available to everyone who comes to him. You don't abide to earn your place on the vine. You abide because you've already been grafted in at great cost, and the life is already flowing. The invitation is simply to stay. Abiding is not the same as being busy for God. This is the confusion that exhausts so many sincere believers. You can fill your calendar with church events, serve on every committee, lead a small group, post scripture every day, and still be running on empty because you've substituted activity for intimacy. You've been doing things for Jesus while slowly losing your connection to him. Martha is the patron saint of this particular failure. While Mary sat at Jesus' feet, abiding, present, attentive, Martha was busy serving. Not bad, doing good things, necessary things. But Jesus gently named what was happening. Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things, but one thing is necessary. Luke 10:41-42. The one thing was not more activity, it was presence. The tragedy of Martha's moment is that she was serving the very person she was failing to be with. She was so focused on doing what she was doing for Jesus that she missed the opportunity just to be with him. And Jesus didn't rebuke her for her service. He redirected her priority. The service matters, but it flows from the sitting, not the other way around. Abiding's not a feeling. Some days the connection feels strong, the word is alive, and prayer flows, and God feels near. Other days, it feels like static, like you're speaking into silence, like the vine is there, but you can't feel the sap moving. But the branch doesn't detach from the vine just because it can't feel the life flowing through it. You stay, you trust, you remain, not because of what you feel, but because of what is true. John 15 contains a verse that tends to get skipped in the highlight reel. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away. And every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. John 15:2. Even the fruitful branches get cut. Pruning is not punishment. Any gardener will tell you that pruning is how you get more fruit. You remove what is good so that what remains can become great. You cut back the growth that is drawing energy away from the fruit-bearing branches. It looks like loss. It feels like loss. But it is, in the hands of a skilled vine dresser, an act of care. This is what God is doing in the seasons that feel like subtraction. The relationship that ended, the opportunity that closed, the capacity that was taken away. The pruning is not evidence that you've been cut off from the vine. It's evidence that the vine dresser is paying attention, that he sees potential in you that requires the removal of something else to fully emerge. Abiding through pruning is one of the hardest forms of faith. It requires trusting the character of the one holding the shears when you can't yet see what he's making. It requires believing that the loss is not the final word, that the vine dresser is not cutting carelessly but purposefully toward a fruitfulness you can't yet see. Jesus makes a stunning promise in John 15:7. If you abide in me and my words abide in you, ask whatever you wish and it will be done for you. This isn't a blank check for whatever you want. It's a description of what happens when you're so rooted in him that your desires begin to align with his. The longer you abide, the more your prayers start to sound like his will, because you've been shaped by his word, formed by his presence, oriented by his purposes. You stop asking for things that don't matter. You start asking for things that do, and those prayers get answered. The fruit of abiding isn't just spiritual disciplines, though those matter. It's love, joy, peace, the kind that doesn't make sense given your circumstances. It's patience that surprises you, kindness that costs you something, a life that points people to something beyond you because it's clearly not coming from you alone. That's what the world is hungry for. Not more religious activity, not more polished performance, but people who are genuinely, visibly connected to something, someone, that produces fruit no amount of striving could manufacture. Whatever today holds, the pressure, the uncertainty, the noise, the grief, the grind, the invitation is the same as it was in John 15. Remain. Don't strive your way to fruit. Don't hustle your way to peace. Don't perform your way to intimacy with God. You were grafted in at the cost of the cross. The life is already flowing. The vine dresser is already at work. Just stay close to the one who is the source of all of it. Apart from him, you can do nothing. In him, you can bear fruit that lasts, fruit that remains, fruit that matters, fruit that outlives you. Abide.